Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud, and this is Champs vs. Stars 2, Episode 6 recap, Caught in Crossfire. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each player randomly and just talk about what they contributed personally, because I don't like going through the episode chronologically anymore. Just that was for another time, man, and I move forward. But here we go. I'm going to draw a random card. Here we go. Booby. Oh, my God. For the blue team, in terms of the missions, he wins. His team wins. And he was a sling shooter. And for this mission, what is it called? Crossfire. And I like this mission when Booby's involved. Again, he's the sling shooter. And he does pretty good. I don't have anything personally written down during the mission. I wrote some notes down, but I don't have anything that stood out other than that he was a sling shooter and he won once again. Before all this, though, at the very beginning of the episode, actually, come to think of it, Booby approaches Brooke, Lil Mama, and Salida, Team Red, and Booby is Team Blue. And he's just saying, like, hey, listen, you ladies are red, but you're a star, I'm a star. We have to start working. We have to start thinking long term, and we got to get on the same page. We got to get some, we got to take action now. Like this is the time and stuff. And I like that. It's not Booby trying to convince anyone else on his own team to get with it. No, he's just like telling his opposition, which in a sense is still part of the overall Champs versus Stars premise, that hey, we have power now, and I want you to strive for more and shit. But yeah, he tells that to Brooke, Lil Mama, and Salida, and they do take it into consideration. Holy shit, yeah. Brooke, she's the one who's like, hey, let's fucking tie up the vote because we have a ace in the hole in terms of the tiebreaker, at least for what his decision will be, which will to back us up. But yeah, for Booby, pretty good performance. Let's hear. Next, we have Lil Mama from the red team. Her mission, she loses the mission. She was a hanger. She hung up from on top of the boxes when those balls are getting struck at the cardboard boxes and whatnot. But Lil Mama, she was the second to fall of the red team and the second to fall overall. So, yeah, she wasn't the first. What do you got to say about that? Who was the first? Kayla. Yeah, she did better than Kayla. The same person that she was talking shit to before the mission, where they were deciding on like who should hang up and who should reload and who should be a sling shooter and shit like that. But yeah, oh my God, that's when Lil Mama's like, hey, Kayla should hang up there because she crumbles under pressure and stuff like that. Just throwing it out there, just randomly. And right away it's like, Kayla's like, what? Okay, you don't know me? I don't know. Lil Mama is way more entertaining and more deserving to be on this show than Kayla. Like, Kayla's kind of really been in the background in, like, the worst possible ways. Anyway, really. Like, come on, Kayla. But she will get a chance. I mean, we'll see this shit, especially with Lil Mama. Lil Mama's just, like, picking an opponent. She's like, hey, come on. Let's make some television here. Like, I might just squish you on the scene right now, make a mockery of you right now, but we'll see if you bounce back. And what happens is that Lil Mama and Kayla, after they lose the mission, they are both nominated for LVP. And, oh my God, what did she say? Yeah, Lil Mama's like, mentally, she's a bum about Kayla. And Kayla's like, I've done 3 seasons. You don't know me that way. Like, how dare you? But really, Kayla has no personality again. But yeah, Lil Mama says, mentally, she's a bum. That'll get her going and shit like that. And yeah, Kayla is totally flustered. But the tiebreaker goes to Wes. And this is the part where Wes is like, hey, like, we've already established the tiebreaker, which was me, who, I'm a champ. That's fine. But nobody came up to me and said, hey, we're going to make this move. You're going to vote this way. Nobody once said that. And he's like, this, it's just the lack of follow through, that really pisses me off. So I gotta say, deep down inside, it's gonna be Lil Mama, not Kayla, who is a fellow champ of mine. It's going to be Lil Mama because I am a goddamn champ deep down inside. And it's a great moment for Wes. For Lil Mama, it does suck because that's an overlook of Brooke. Oh my god, an overlook of Brooke. When Booby was saying like, hey, we have to make the right decisions here. They never did go talk to Wes about all this stuff. That is it's a brilliant way to get pissed off. I mean, it's a no, like that would annoy me as well if I was in that situation. Okay, so when Lil Mama is sent into elimination through the tiebreaker, Wes himself being the twist, saying like, no man, I'm fucking going back to the champs, because this entire episode he was just totally hamming up the fact that he was powerless in this game on his blue team because the stars controlled everything. Like, he really goes above and beyond to portray that. So when this happens and Lil Mama is somehow relying on Wes to be the tiebreaker, she gets sent in. That would put you through a loophole, right? You're just like, oh my god, what the fuck? But when it comes down to the elimination, when it's free your mind and everything's explained, then the Miz is like, hey, fucking Drake, you're the MVP. Your power play is override. You can replace Lil Mama with anyone on the red team, or you could replace, what was it? Oh yeah, Ashley with Louise. Yeah, of course, that's never gonna happen, And it turns out to be Kayla, the same person that Lil Mama was talking shit to, got tied in a vote with, and now she is full on replaced with Kayla to go in. Lil Mama had a great episode. Lil Mama has the edge in terms of the mental warfare and the mental edge in general. Next we have, oh my god, it's Kayla. Oh my god. For the red team, she lost in the mission. She was a hanger, and she was the first to fall for the red team. Now that hurts because Lil Mama did say, hey, Kayla should hang up there for sure because she crumbles under pressure. And Kayla's like, what? You don't even know me and shit like that. But eventually, I do remember Tori walking up to Kayla and saying like, listen, I think you're going to have to hang up there. It's just one of those things. It's such a weird moment. She basically is talked into it by Tori. And remember, Tori and Lil Mama are friends. Oh, so Kayla is now thrown into elimination. No, leading up to this, she was tied with Lil Mama to go in for the red team. A tie. And luckily for her, it went to Wes. I'm sure going into it, she was just like, oh, fuck, the tiebreaker is Wes. God damn it. Like, he's so whipped by his goddamn blue team, the stars. He's whipped by the cosmos that he's gonna have to fucking put in me, Kayla. But unbeknownst to her, no one went to Wes, and Wes is all outraged and shit. So he's like, nah, fuck you. Oh, Mama, you're going in. So Kayla's probably feeling great at this moment. She's like, aha, I fucking told you. Who crumbles under pressure and shit like that. No, that's not a good Kayla impression. That's more Ashley Mitchell. But the elimination comes up, and it's free your mind, and the Miz explains the rules. Lil Mama's supposed to verse Ashley Mitchell, and then right away the Miz is like, Drake, do you understand the rules? And Drake's like, yeah, kinda, sorta. Why? Am I the MVP? And he's like, yeah, you totally are. So it's override. He can replace anybody, and so he replaces Kayla for Lil Mama. He will not replace Louise for Ashley Mitchell. No fucking way. Any girl on the red team. But it is Kayla. Thematically, the way this episode was playing out, it was like, of course, it had to be Kayla, of all people, because that's who Lil Mama was calling out the entire time. Now Kayla's into elimination. It's called Free Your Mind. It looks like some go-go girl cage from the 60s where you would dance there. But you're not wearing the opposite of being a go-go girl. You're wearing a lot of fucking clothes. If this could be qualified as clothes, like a giant piece, a puzzle piece, third dimensional puzzle piece on you. There's like pipes sticking out of you and shit, and you have to maneuver. It's one of these physical puzzles that you have to get out of. And at this moment, I was like, that is brilliant. Holy shit. I do remember being in I believe it was called a Games by James shop at the mall. And there was some sort of physical puzzle. And you picked it up and you're like, well, okay, what was this? Some sort of fucking, Rubik's Cube ripoff? But of course, that would be the opposite. Like, obviously whatever this thing was way older than that. It was like a piece of wood and some string in like a piece of iron, and they're like, you gotta make this thing do this, or get this piece of iron through the rope and then touch the whatever, and you're like, oh, okay, and you pick it up and you're like, well, that's not possible. The way this thing is constructed, that's a joke, right? And then you set it down. And they're like, no, literally, like, this is a real puzzle. You have to do this. So the fact that this thing is full life-size version of it is amazing. I was so fucking impressed. Sometimes this challenge, this fucking show impresses me so much with its innovation. And true, like, yeah, like we've heard of like these physical, like, get this shit out of here somehow, you're like, how do you get the coin out of the bottle? That sort of shit. And but the fact that you are physically part of that contraption was a beautiful touch. Let's see here. Override switches Kayla for Lil Mama. So Kayla goes in against Ashley Mitchell. Going into this, I was like, okay, well, going off the top of my head, I'm like, Kayla, you've defeated Jenna, which is very impressive. You've gone into other eliminations. You've done pretty well. I don't know the specifics. And then going to Ashley Mitchell, I'm like, well, fuck. She does leave the game a lot, but it's not by elimination. And it's not like she's the best at it. I think she's might have had... No, wait a minute. No. She went like 2-1 in Champs versus Pros. So, going into this, being a puzzle, and seeing how it all went down, I had to complain. I was thinking, you know what? Any puzzle from now on should not be viewed in front of a live crowd. The champs and the stars should not be allowed to like yell out directions to these women when they're trying to solve this fucking puzzle. I swear to God. In fact, almost any puzzle should not be allowed to be viewed by anyone. That should be a private affair. And if you think of like the Fresh Meat Exiles, those were great because that is exactly what those eliminations were. They were never viewed by the people in the game currently. And it was a total surprise, a total event to see who returned, who the fuck won and shit like that, and then they would have to like ask them like, so how did it happen and shit like that, like it was just it was a great moment. But especially when it comes to puzzles, you cannot let the crowd help you out. I don't think it's fair at all because you know what else could happen? The crowd could also fucking sabotage you. They can give you bad directions, i.e. Wes in the ruins against Kahutta. Kenny, Wes, Derek, Johnny, they're all giving him bad directions. You know what I mean? It's terrible. Anyways, what I'm saying is they shouldn't have been helped. I mean, from what I can tell, I think Shane did a lot of really good coaching with Kayla about maneuvering out of this contraption. But you know what? Hey, she still did it. Kayla beat Ashley Mitchell. Kayla, in the classiest way possible, flips off the entire team. And it's like, it wasn't the entire team that voted you in. It was half the team. It was a tie, for fuck's sake. So, I don't know. You're just like, well, okay, maybe she's exhausted and mentally exhausted, even though she was coached through it, but she doesn't know what she's doing, right? But at the end of it all, it's saved. You know why? Because Miz is like, you know what? This is no longer red versus blue. Two big giant teams. It's now going to be motherfucking pairs again. And my mind is like just blown, but then like trying to quickly put together everything. I'm like, well, how would it be decided? Would it be, the top leadership board or whatever decides who they get and stuff like that? I still don't know. Actually, I do kind of know. There's some like leak and some rumor that like fucking crazy ass partnerships are going to be made, but it seems like it honestly seems like, because I'm not going to discuss this on this podcast at this moment, or maybe not at all. But it seems like they put the first and the second together, the third best and the fourth best together, the fifth and the sixth best together, and you're like, I mean, I guess that makes sense. But that just seems like it's going to be extremely slanted. It's going to be extremely... I don't know. I'm worried. But it's just a rumor. Let's get on with the next person. CT, Team Red, loses the mission. He was a sling shooter. Faggot. Oh my god. I do remember before the mission starts, he's like, the fucking estrogen on my red team, gives me bigger man boobs, And he's like, me and the girls here, we're not going anywhere and shit like that. And, the ladies laugh, and so do Shane and Jose laugh, like CT. I really like that line. CT doesn't do too much out of this. Before the mission in the morning, he goes up to Wes when Wes and Ashley are having a conversation where Ashley's like giving Wes shit about like, you fucking bitched out or whatever. But he does go up. He's like, Wes, you play like you got it all under control, and then it goes the opposite way, motherfucker. But that's all the scenes CT has. Next, we have Shane for the red team. Lost the mission. He was the hanger honor over the boxes. He was the third to fall of the red. Also, the fourth to fall overall. So, not bad, not good. That's all he really did this episode. I mean, honestly. Next, we have Ashley Mitchell for the blue team. Of course, she was formerly from the red team. She won this mission despite sabotaging it. She was the first to fall for the blue team, and she was the third overall to fall. So basically, 2 red team boxes were blown down the towers, and then the 2 players fell. So Ashley's like, y'all look like you can need some help and shit. So she kicks over her own tower of boxes. Now, okay, I understand that being a Wes fan, I have to acknowledge that Wes has thrown missions before to spite his own team. But Ashley Mitchell is just fucking fire and brimstone about this whole fucking thing. She's so spiteful to Louise and Casper and the entire blue team. Wes, calling him a bitch and shit like that. But it's like, you know what, though? Ashley, this wasn't a decision of Louise to just switch teams. She had to switch teams. This was a production idea. This is production's idea of getting hard and like, oh my god, who the fuck do you think they're gonna check? Like, is Ashley gonna freak out and shit? Oh my god, there she is, freaking out. Like Ashley Mitchell is just like a dancing monkey in terms of like how the producers want her to not only react but overreact. So she's just so fucking. What'd she say that one episode? I'm just so fucking heated. But okay, so before all this, she calls Wes a bitch because she's like, oh, I'm in this decision whether I'm nice or not, that I'm going to go into the elimination and shit. So, I don't know. She was a woman of her word. She threw the mission. She tried her best to throw it. In fact, she throws a ball to Salida, the red team, the opposing team and shit. So, yeah, when Drake is nominated MVP, he chooses Ashley for LVP. There's no drama in that. That was an obvious decision to be made. So when it's Free Your Mind in the elimination, she's expected to go against Lil Mama. I go in here feeling kind of positive. But then, the episode changes because the Miz is like, okay, well, it's over, right? And like, Drake, you can make another decision when it comes to Ashley's future in this game. Do you want Ashley to go against Lil Mama or anyone else in this fucking thing? Because, Drake's not going to switch out Ashley for Louise. No, Ashley's going in no matter what. So he gives Ashley not a female star, but a female champion. Kayla. Actually a finalist, but whatever. So she participates in this physical elimination. Physical elimination. This physical puzzle. It's mind-boggling to me. And I just stick to my guns in saying that it should have been done alone, privately, in the dark, candlelit. Yeah. But Ashley Mitchell is eliminated. She does not solve the puzzle. She doesn't get even kind of close, really. I would say Kayla was coached through that thing. I don't know. Ashley's out. And it was kind of weird. I was like, you know what? I'm not that saddened by it. What is she? Oh, shit, she's blue. Oh, my God. And that's when they're like, hey, the blue team, they gather up. They're like, okay, should we decide whether to choose Ashley or whatever? And Wes is like, the decision is made. We're just kind of gathering up like this for the sake of the cameras, right? And, he gets a big laugh or whatever. And, yeah, Ashley is not saved. Why would she? Ashley, you could have tried to just play it smoothly. But Ashley, again, is like kind of a loose cannon. So loose that she doesn't even get eliminated. She leaves, She gets kicked out. It's so so commonplace for her. And now she's eliminated. I know she's been eliminated before. I think it was, I think it might have been Rivals 3 when she was with Corey. But it's been a long fucking while. And, but yeah. That's the end of Ashley. Next, we have Tori from the red team. Her team loses the mission. She was a sling shooter, a retriever, a loader, whatever you want to call it. She's friends with Lil Mama, but, who isn't? No, she's friends with Lil Mama, and that's cool. But that's all she has to do in this episode, really. Next, we have Wes from the blue team. His mission, he wins the mission, or his team wins the mission. He was a hanger. He originally did not want to be, but they were like, yeah, but what if you're beat up from like the last elimination you were in? You fucking asshole and shit like that. And Wes is like, oh my God, totally. You're totally right. I need to recover by just like hanging off this painful harness for hours on end. Thank you, sir. So he's the third to fall for the blue team. He's the sixth to fall overall. Earlier, before all this, Ashley calls him a bitch. She's, he tries to comfort Ashley. He's like, listen, you gotta kind of cool off a little bit. Like, if you keep on popping off and whatever, they're gonna throw you into elimination. Ashley's like, you fucking asshole. Like, you're a goddamn bitch. Like, the whole reason, like, you ain't in control. Like, I'm going in no matter what. Fuck y'all and shit. So, and then CT comes up and he's like, hey man, you're gonna fail again. Like, every single time you feel like you're gonna every single fucking time you feel like you're in control, you're fucking not. Reverse. Wes is like, I thought you dropped your R's when, the accent and shit. But Wes, he's like, I must submit to the stars. He shows up to the mission, bound behind his back. But he says, you know what? I must lull the stars into complacency, and then I will strike. But with all the action that happened with the mission, they win. They do win. When they're having the MVP discussion afterwards, Drake is not present. He's at a rap concert. And Wes is like, hey, I suggest Drake for MVP. I'm not a CEO anymore. I'm not part of the board of trustees. But I would suggest that we vote in Drake because it doesn't harm us any in terms of the leaderboard and stuff like that. And they're like, very good, Wes, very good. And Wes balances a biscuit on his nose. Wes is later used as the tiebreaker during the nominations. And it's between Lil Mama and Ashley Mitchell. And this is when Wes was like, we've already established the goddamn tiebreaker. Like, you could have, like, you didn't play this right. You know, like, I've been playing a scene this entire time of like, oh my God, I'm a slave to you guys and shit. And I'm sure he would have followed through with it when the stars went up to him and like, hey, we want this to go this way, you know? But there was never a discussion. There was never a talk. There was never a scene. There was not the TV time. There was not the camera time. And that's what really bugged him. So that's when he was like, I'm going to fucking flip it all over. Because this entire episode, he's been rolling over, exposing his belly for the stars. You know, his entire team is ruled by the stars. When he nominated Drake for MVP, he wasn't even discussing the possibility of giving it to fellow blue champ, Tony. So he gets mad. He's like, you know what? We've established it. It's a lack of follow through. And deep down inside, I'm a champ. So I'm going to put in goddamn Lil Mama. I'm going to save Kayla. And that was a great moment. That was giving a star his fucking time to shine. But what did producers do? They cut the legs off from underneath it by giving a star, Drake, the guy who was absent for a rap concert. You know, how do producers feel about this, you know? Like, you know, if you think about it, like the people on the challenge, they're just like, what the fuck? We're waiting here for half an hour to wait for a goddamn Hennessy to show up, you know? Or like T.O. walked out, so what the fuck are we going to say now and shit? So there, you know, there's moments where the producers have to deal with shit. What was the other thing? Camilla being a goddamn psycho and hitting a producer, you know? So the producers go through this shit as well. I don't know. How do they feel about Drake getting MVP? But, so what happens? Wes gives them great television by saying, I am a champ. This was you know, it wasn't a ruse, but he was just like, no, this fucking, I am here to say that this is definitely champs versus stars. But the fucking power play leading up to into the elimination is override. So Lil Mama does not go in. But Kayla does. The one that Wes saved so brilliantly and gave that goddamn brilliant speech. So it's just like, wah, wah, you know? If they want people to look good, you have to play your twists appropriately, production. All right? Next, we have Brooke from Team Red. Her mission, you know, her team lost. She was a sling shooter. And holy shit, I think she was like the very few women that could do it successfully and well. Like Brooke is still up in my mind as being like a great addition to this challenge overall. The only thing besides this is that she talks with Jose about Wes as the tiebreaker and that he's a slave for the stars. So they're like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, you know, like how the numbers come out, we're going to have to create a tie, and then Wes will do our bidding and vote in a star. But nobody, not Brooke, not Jose, not any star, went up to Wes and said, hey, Wes, we know that you're playing the bitch and that you're going to obey us like Theon goddamn Greyjoy. But they didn't tell him anything. They didn't give him that spotlight and shit. And they paid dearly. Yeah, but they were fucking saved by the stupid ass override. I don't know. Is the override cool? Yes. But did the same thing happen the previous episode where they changed Jose for Devin? It's like the same twist done 2 weeks in a row. Come on, guys. Come on, production. Next is Salida, red team. In the mission, her team loses. She was a sling shooter, but she was pretty bad. In fact, I remember seeing her struggling to pull the slingshot back enough and she could not. Next, we have Louise from the blue team. She wins in the mission. She was a loader, I'll just say, you know. That's not some sort of British idiom where they're like, oh, you're a fucking wanker. But yeah, that's all. That's all she's there for. I mean, she's still in power. She just doesn't have the scenes in which they discuss her power or it's displayed. Really, you know, she's still in the background, but oh my god, just a huge figure. Next, we have Drake for the blue team. The mission is won by his team. He's a hanger. In fact, he never falls. He is the only person to survive the onslaught of balls getting slung shot at him and his cardboard boxes, you know. He wins. And you know what? He's like, he was probably like, you know, dude, I'd rather go to a rap concert than talk about the obvious person to win MVP. It should be me, you know. But yeah, he doesn't go to the he doesn't go to the MVP meeting. Goes to a rap concert, but you know he is suggested for MVP by Wes, and it's basically unanimous. I think the reason is that Drake is lower on the totem pole, so to speak, in terms of the leaderboard. This fucking what do you call it? Oh my god, McGruffin? No, oh fuck, what is it called? MacGuffin? MacGuffin! Anyways, so as MVP, Drake chooses Ashley, which was no fucking surprise. Like, Ashley threw the goddamn thing. Well, he stayed on the boxes the entire time. And then he gets the power play, and he uses the override. He switches Lil Mama with Kayla to go against Ashley Mitchell. Turns out to be the right thing. I never would have thought that Kayla could out-puzzle Ashley, really. So good on Drake. I mean, he's firing pretty clean on the cylinders, you know. Next, we have Jose for the red team. The mission, his team loses. He was a hanger. In fact, I would call him a stander, you know. He was the last to fall for the red team, but, you know, in 7th overall, last to fall overall. But he stood on the goddamn boxes. It was a brilliant technique to keep that tower up. You know, there was great moments. You know, things would get shot at his box. It would dent his box. And Jose would just say, like, nah, motherfucker. You know, honestly, Jose's been slowly winning me over. And not even fully winning me over. You know what I mean? It's like 45% maybe. Not even, you know, he's not even on the fence, really. But he's, like, slowly creeping up. And I don't understand why. It's probably just this performance. And then he has a scene afterwards with Brooke where they're like, Wes is broken and will obey Louise and Casper. And he's the tiebreaker, so we could do whatever the fuck we want. We're in control, bitch, and shit like that. But no, bad on Jose for not talking to Wes, because that's the whole reason why Lil Mama gets thrown in. Yet, power play, override, that changes everything anyways. Back to that, I don't know. It's just, I guess that override thing really kind of killed the momentum for the episode in my eyes. Yeah, it really did. I was just like, you know, and I had to sit there. I'm like, well, Kayla against Ashley, that's a pretty good pairing. Kayla beats Ashley. Okay, Ashley's gone. All right. But it just felt weird. It felt... I'm still not completely with it, really. Next, we have Tony for the blue. For the mission, he wins. He's a sling shooter. And in fact, he gets the winning shot of Jose. He knocks Jose down. This is the second time he got the winning shot. The second week in a row. And in the second week in a row, he's not going to get MVP. He's not even going to get nominated, really. Wes is going to be sitting there, and he's like, hey, man, Drake's gone at a rap concert, but I think that he should get MVP. And that's when Tony's like, okay, well, I'm just a jackass here. You know, I'm literally a donkey, you know. I'm used and abused and stuff. And he asked the stars outright. He's like, so this is just how it's going to be, you know. Fuck me, you know, doing, you know, no more of this, like, oh, I'm doing everything for the team bullshit. And they're like, yeah. And it is interesting to me thinking about it, because there is a moment where It's like, well, Tony, you should have known, though. Realistically, whether you're killing it or not, Booby, Drake, Casper, Louise, I don't think they're going to give you that power. They're not going to give you that power. Ashley has no say. I think during the MVP talk, Wes is like, okay, well, since, I'm not, part of the board of trustees, I have no say really, but may I suggest that Drake gets the MVP nomination? And there's a laugh. And then Ashley Mitchell's like, yeah, I'm basically fucking fired. And she laughs. And Tony's sitting there just like having to eat it. And then finally he's like, okay, well, so this is corruption, huh? This is how it goes? So I don't know. It was a good scene for Tony, but at the same time, it's like, no duh, dude. No fucking duh. But the only other thing I've written down for Tony is that he's top of the leaderboard. That is pretty cool, except we don't know what it means at all. And finally, we have Casper for the blue team in the mission. He wins. His team wins. He's a hanger. I was very surprised that he was a hanger. I figured he would have been a shooter or something like that, but he's the second to fall for the blue, but fifth overall, so it wasn't that fucking bad. But he really didn't have too much else to do on this in this episode. But yeah, there you go. That was the episode. Overall, I liked it. Like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.